Everybody in Aikido used the movement to escape from the attack. And that's not Aiki. Aiki's joining with the attack. So I think we should have a few years of very little movement and a lot of connection work, like Ikeda Sensei is currently doing. And once you know how to do that, see if you can start taking that into your movement. So that wherever I go, like if Tracy comes to grab me, if I've spent a lot of time knowing how to do this, just stay there. If I've spent a lot of time knowing how to do this, knowing how to do this, knowing how to do this, then I'm ready for knowing how to do this on my turn. But we all learned to turn, and then we went, you could figure out why it didn't work, because we never actually spent any time on how to go and mess up the structure. We did the movement first. And I understand that, because ultimately Aikido is about the movement. That's what makes it Aikido, not Daito-ryu or something else. But in Sensei really put an emphasis on getting us moving. Okay? The problem is now, what's he focusing on? Now he's trying to show us the connection. I mean, if you go to Sunrise with Sensei now, unless he gets a bug up his ass about how wimpy everybody is, in which case he does a karate class again and pounds everybody. But when he gets his best students together, and he doesn't get all in his mood, what's he working on? He came to my place, he did this amazing Aiki work. Okay? If he gets the best of his people together, and he doesn't have a bunch of people who push all his buttons because they're doing weird stuff, what's he work on? It's not that stuff. Been there, done that. He works on the connection. Shows you how to float people. This is what he's working on. We should have started with that and then done the movement. That's my opinion. Okay? Because now he's got a bunch of people who are pretty high ranked who don't understand how to connect but can move like crazy. That's a long time before you figure out what makes the thing really work. And especially if that's your Aikido. If you haven't learned the connection work, but you just did the movement, guess who's at a big disadvantage in that game? You guys. Because if you don't have the connection work, that's the only way somebody is going to move somebody my size. Okay? It's the only way. These guys can fake it. You know, they want to crank their hips in there, they might get me moving. Okay? But you guys don't even come close to having the physical size and strength to do that. So, without the Aiki in the Aikido, your guys are second-class citizens, always. Same with small men. Anybody who doesn't have the big juice is screwed. Okay? Because you get real good at escaping from the attack, but at some point you still have to connect and throw them. And that's what everybody ran into. So the big boys would hit that point and then crank the hell out of their hips and attack your weak lines and attack your joints and see if they can yoink you. And we've all been at like Rokudan seminars with some people hanging on our arms, still thinking that they can lever you down. The only reason I fall down for that is because it's annoying and I don't want to get into it with him in front of Sensei at the shrine. But if anybody thought that was, Red, grab my arm. No, 2 hands, like you're going to do Aikido. Oh, now wrench me down to the ground.
Wrench you down?
Wrench me down. See how successful this is. Or it to be not a social occasion, in which case I don't want to start things that just sour the wonderful social. The moment he did that to me, I would kick the crap out of him. It doesn't work. It's hideous. And I had a guy who's a world-renowned author and now head of his own style doing that on my arm. What would lead you to believe that that would work? So, for the rest of you who are not him, you saw how successful it was when he did it. Give up all notions that that's anything that will ever work for you. Just don't even try, and try and get it, because this is it. You know, it's like they used to say, you know, God created man and woman, but Samuel Colt made them equal. In our world, it's Aiki that makes